Goedag zo Yuan. Goedag zo Yuan. Откайші! Откайші!
Як ви? Yukon! Yukon! Aykşayı koyakon. Yanne acını ton. Yanne acını ton. Ayak yandı. Ayak yandı. Yanne acını ton. One more time. Yanne acını ton.
Buenas cheese. Kayki. How? Aksis ko si itikaneh. Kajakti. Wa kaya di yuk tiskit. Ako.
Las cheese chaya, yasi gugal, hagiye wuti, yayaki. Singe yu khatanke, kutkukhih ka aya khatso khatsayach yidat. Welcome to this joyous occasion. Sealaska Heritage Foundation formed by voices of our elders. Welcome to the 10th Celebration 2000. We have friends here from British Columbia, Washington, Yukon Territory, Alaska, and Hawaii. This occasion is so large today that it took over an hour for the grand entrance to end. It took over an hour. You are the life and revival of our ancestors' spirits. Over 9,000 years ago, our people were here walking, rafting, or by canoe, enduring rough weather, very little food, shelter where it could be found. Encouraging words rang out, self-determination, they would not die. And from this atmosphere came the wonderful family values of this great nation. Respect, patience, understanding, speak with care, obedience, family loyalty. Be strong physically, mentally, and spiritually. With these everlasting jewels we enter the new millennium and the 21st century. For Celebration 2000, our banner says, restoring balance through culture. And we begin this today again repeating, we trust forever. We offer tribute to our ancestors, to past distinguished leaders, who with their wealth of knowledge, quietly and generously, would not let go our land rights and our culture. We will remember them in a special way during this celebration. The trustees thank the office staff for their untiring efforts in preparing for this celebration. Our volunteers and many others contributing to the success of this celebration, including Susan Fair, Michael Lee Travis, Marcella Brento, Mike Fieldhouse, Mark Kelly, Alaska State Library, Archie Kavanaugh, Froghouse Bhagwan, Janet Lanark, Gail DeArmond, Hemlock Printers, Richard and Nora Donhauer, Rosita World, Kenneth Austin, John March, to name a few. I now introduce the members of the Board of Trustees of the Sealaska Heritage Foundation. Stella Martin, Chairperson, Patrick Anderson, Secretary, Marlene Johnson, Chair of the Celebration Committee, Jane DeAngeli, Celebration 2000 Coordinator, Clarence Jackson, Jean Rennie, Arlene Grant, Rosita World, President. I now introduce Bob Rocher, President and CEO of Sealaska Corporation, who will introduce the Sealaska Board of Directors.
My name is Bob Loescher. My Tlingit name is Kakushtu. I'm a member of the Eagle tribe in the Chukanadi clan, the people of Glacier Bay and Huna. And I'm proud to be here. On behalf of the Board of Directors, we welcome you to the Millennium Celebration. On behalf of Marge Young, Chairman of the Board, I think she's here, Rosita Worrell, Director, Richard Stitt, Albert Kukash, Daniel Leston, Ethel Lund, Clarence Jackson from Cape, Alaska. You know Clarence. Joe Demmert from Ketchikan. And Patrick Anderson from Yakutat, Alaska. Gordon James from Craig, Alaska. Byron Malat from Yakutat, Alaska. And our tribal chairman, Ed Thomas, is on our board of directors. I'd like to recognize one former director that's here, Charlie Carlson, formerly of Sitka. Welcome, Charlie. Also, my dear friend, Cyril George from Angoon, former director. I bet you wonder why I called this meeting. We're here to celebrate the Millennium Celebration, and we have much to celebrate. I was told of the state ferry that had been traveling through Southeast Alaska the last couple of days, and at each community, each village as it landed, the people on the ferry would be singing a song and the drums would be beating. Then I understand that the people on the beach would welcome the ferry and welcome the people with a song, and the drums were beating. So this journey to come to celebration, Millennium Celebration here in Juneau, started in our villages, started from our lands in the Tongass Forest, southeastern Alaska, started where we come from in terms of our natural resources, our fish and wildlife, clean water and clean air, and came and brought all of our people together here to this fine place to hold a celebration. We have much to celebrate. We are a free people. We have never been conquered by anybody, and we represent ourselves to our state and our country and our world with fine distinction, as is represented here today in our culture. We also have a lot to celebrate. Our land has been a wealth to us. It's provided us jobs, and we, as long as we care for it and are stewards of that land, it will care for us. And I would like to at least say the words, our way of life. Subsistence is still a goal and thing that we must fight for and preserve. And lastly, I see our elders here, and these are the people who bring us guidance and strength and our wisdom. And I welcome our children who are here, because they will carry on our culture as we go forward. Sealaska Corporation is proud to join with the Sealaska Heritage Foundation in sponsoring this event. Along with us this year, I'd like to make a special recognition of Senator Jerry Mackey, who has helped in getting sponsors along with Sealaska. Jerry, are you here? Could we give him a special recognition? He was able to get additional people to help sponsor this great event. BP Oil Company, the National Bank of Alaska, Royal Caribbean Tours, and Alaska Airlines. There were many other sponsors, and you might look in our brochure and see who they were, but those were major sponsors, and we thank them very much. We very much thank them. And would join me in thanking them. We look forward to this event every year, and I want to tell you it's been a very exhilarating feeling to watch the grand entrance today and to see all of you here. In my capacity, working with the board of directors and representing the company and working with the tribal chairman, Ed Thomas, and grand president of Alaska Native Brotherhood, Sam Jackson, oftentimes we have to go out in the world and represent our people, our region, to the governor of Alaska, to the legislature, to the Congress, and in the business world around the world, in North America and in Asia. But one of the things that always reminds me of who I am and how we should represent our people is an event like this, when we see all of our people together and see the wealth, the strength of our culture, and all of the things that make us as a people. And I want to make special recognition of that because as we go forward, I believe that our culture, our people, and the way we conduct ourselves makes us distinct in the world. And this celebration is the finest example of our distinction in our leadership. And I just want to conclude my remarks by welcoming you again to the Millennium Celebration, and enjoy. Just in one additional comment, we have a former chairman of the board of Sealaska, Alan Williams, here, and I'd like to recognize him, the former director. And one last remark I'd like to make. We really treasure the Sealaska Heritage Foundation for what it does, not only for celebration, but organizing the language programs for our children, doing the research that's going on in our culture, and all of the things that the foundation does for our scholarship program. And it wouldn't be done without the leadership of Dr. Rosita Worrell. and I'd like to recognize her at this time. She's also Board of Director of Sealaska. Kunishjish, enjoy.
And now we come to another tradition. He welcomed us 2 years ago, Mayor of Juneau, Dennis Egan, and I think it's possible that between he and the governor, they're going to mention a new performing arts center for the next celebration. I thought I'd give you an introduction now.
Well, we're working on it. The thing that I'm really pleased to see is no harvest gold regalia. It's a real pleasure to have you folks in Juneau, and I've allotted my time to the governor. Bob took up the majority of my time that I did have allotted. So I would like to read a proclamation on behalf of the Assembly and the citizens of our community. Whereas the Sealaska Heritage Foundation is hosting the 10th Biennial Celebration 2000 at Centennial Hall, June 1 through 3, 2000. And whereas the first celebration held in 1982 was attended by about 400 people and 12 well-established dance groups. And whereas the 10th Biennial Celebration 2000 will serve nearly 50 dance groups with as many as 2,000 performers and more than 200 volunteers in the United States. Not to mention the 5,000 folks that will be viewing the dances. Whereas the participants of Celebration 2000 contribute significantly to Juneau's economic prosperity and cultural relations, understanding, and goodwill. And whereas this new Millennium Celebration is the largest gathering of Tlingit, Haida, and Tsimshian people of Southeast Alaska. And whereas the theme for this year's celebration is restoring balance through culture, the elders share their wisdom, and the children and grandchildren will continue to keep the culture alive and strong. Now, therefore, I, Dennis Egan, Mayor of the City and Borough of Juneau, do hereby proclaim June 1 through 3, 2000 as Celebration 2000, and on behalf of the Sealaska Heritage Foundation and the City and Borough of Juneau, and to all its citizens, welcome everyone to Celebration 2000 to celebrate the songs, dance, music, and rich history of the Tlingit, Haida, and Tsimshian cultures. Again, welcome to the Alaska's capital.
Now we have the governor of the state of Alaska to confirm the Performing Arts Center for 2 years from now. I want to get these guys locked in. I want you to know that Governor Knowles came, and he didn't come through the line, but I want you to know, Tony, that I saw Fran come more than once across the stage. I saw some guy named Brown come through 3 times. I think it was my nephew. Governor Knowles, it's a pleasure and an honor to introduce you and to have you here at our celebration.
Thank you, Clarence Jackson, for the introduction, for your long service to your tribe, your community, to your state, and to Alaska Native people. I stand before you proudly as a member of the Raven Clan, the Dog Salmon House, the Dog Salmon House from Kloak. Wasa Iati. It is an honor to again welcome the celebration event to Alaska's capital city. You have made it the international capital for celebration. One could feel and hear the power in the grand procession, and I know that this celebration will be the best one yet. Thanks to the elders, always for their wisdom and guidance, to the children, the dancers, and the participants. And yes, I did see among the many beautiful members of the Eagle Clan, I did note one as she danced beautifully across the stage. What a great Lieutenant Governor we have. Please join me also in thanking Jan DeAngeli of the Sealaska Heritage Foundation staff and the many volunteers from Alaska and Canada who worked so hard to make this grand event possible. And speaking of Canada, do we have dancers from Queen Charlotte? Are they here? All right. This morning our office received a call from the Matanuska, from the Alaska Marine Highway system, inquiring if they could make an unscheduled special stop in downtown Juneau so that the Queen Charlotte dancers could be here on time. And we said, absolutely. Of the many things appreciated about the culture that is being celebrated today, it is the honor and the respect to elders. Certainly here in Celebration 2000, we cherish the time-honored traditions of the past as these invaluable lessons are passed along to youth. And there is no more fulfilling tradition as the selfless and loving way elders in the Native community care about youth. It is a rich and vibrant culture that Alaska must support, nurture, and celebrate. Today marks the beginning of several days of wonderful sharing, of beautiful songs, dances, workshops, arts, crafts from many tribes across our state and our country. Its purpose is simple, as stated in this year's theme, Restoring Balance Through Culture. As you know, this bilingual or biannual event began nearly 2 decades ago to revitalize the many ancient Native traditions that were felt endangered. As we witness here today, the Alaska Native cultures are rich and thriving. The size and the intensity of this year's celebration shows the pride and the strength of Alaska Native people. 20 years ago, the late Tlingit elder, George Davis of Angoon and Sitka, was witnessing the traditional dancing of young children. Their innocent motions inspired him to observe. We don't want what you did here to only echo in the air. We had given up hope of seeing what you told us to look at. That is why we unwrapped it. The culture, the language of our mother's grandparents, our mother's maternal uncles. You have unwrapped it for us. That is why we will open again this container of wisdom left in our care. Our maternal uncles and our grandparents are here. I know Celebration 2000 will unwrap the important and time-honored traditions for not only those who witness them this week, but for the future generations as they too will be passed on. best wishes for a joyful celebration, and I will present to Dr. Soboleff this executive proclamation of me as governor, celebrating the hard work and dedication of the Sealaska Heritage Foundation and the many individuals who continue to carve its place in Alaska's history and brings us all national and international acclaim. Thank you. Gunashish Hawa.
I think what he said was they're going to go ahead and start the plans for convention center. I need a representative to make sure they keep their word. I would be remiss if I didn't call on our own Fran Ulmer to be charged with representing us to keep track of the two fine-looking boys sitting next to her. Always bearing in mind they made a promise. How good.
Good Ashish. It is an honor for me to be here today and to greet you, to congratulate all of you who have made Celebration 2000 a roaring success. My Tlingit name is Kinze. I am Eagle Kagwantan from Sitka. I felt very, very honored to be adopted, and I want to pay tribute to Agnes Bellinger, who arranged my adoption and who has been a teacher of me for many years. Thank you, Agnes. And because Celebration 2000 is about celebrating culture and also honoring our elders, I would also like to pay tribute to two other elders. Bessie Visaya. Bessie Visaya was one of the very first Tlingit women in Juneau who kind of took me under her blanket and said, I want to tell you about the Tlingit culture. And I thank not only Bessie and Agnes for that, but for all of you, the Alaska Native Sisterhood and Alaska Native Brotherhood, who have reached out to many, many people, not only here in Juneau, throughout Southeast, but throughout Alaska, to help us understand, appreciate, and respect the beauty, the power of the culture that we are celebrating today. And I also want to pay tribute to Jenny Clinall. Jenny, the famous weaver from Klukwan, who wove many beautiful Chilkat blankets. Some of them are here today. Jenny was a leader and a teacher, and what she had to say in her last days when she was teaching people the art of Chilkat weaving, I think goes to the heart of Celebration 2000. She said, my aunties taught me this, not to hold on to, but to give away, to share what I know with others. Those are wise words for all of us today. That is the beauty of Celebration 2000. It's not to hold it, but to share it. And that is what the lesson of this great celebration is, that your culture, through understanding and through sharing it with others, will become stronger and stronger. Gunashish.
In those beautiful words, I heard a promise. We're very honored today to have one of our own from the Yukon territory, equivalent to a lieutenant governor in America. Commissioner Jinjo, please say a few words.
Thank you. I am very, very honored and very proud to be here with you today in this celebration. It's my first celebration I have ever come to in Alaska, and it's overwhelming to see the people that are here. In the Yukon, as a commissioner of the Yukon, I have an opportunity to also host a celebration, which is called a Commissioner's Potlatch. It's a celebration of Yukon First Nation culture and tradition. The celebration is on July 8th and 9th, right in Whitehorse. And I've come down, and I would like to thank the board for allowing me some time during this opening to extend to you the invitation to come to the Yukon and celebrate with us on July the 8th and 9th. We have dances, singing, crafts, artists, and performers that go on throughout the day. On the 8th of the evening, we will have a feast. And during that, at the end of the feast, at a potlatch, there's always a gift that you give away. So what we have today, and this is the first time that we are going to unveil the poster that will be given away at the Commissioner's Potlatch this year. I'd like to call Ken Anderson, who's the artist of this poster that we're about to unveil, if he can come forward and help me unveil the poster. So that's our giveaway at the Commissioner's Potlatch. Welcome. Thank you. Cornish cheese.
We're coming very rapidly to a photo and the end of this part of the celebration. Achtoa sigu hajakti hatkakainike you take our edek good. Achtoa sigu achkak Herman Kitka, Yaktaki Gute.
I wish my uncle, Herman Kitta, to come beside me.
You take our cake, you come. You need a chair. Put it close off front. My Uncle Herman is over 37 years old and just under 100. And it's necessary for him to sit. I have other uncles. Ronald John never leaves the side of Elsie for fear one of his nephews will get close.
He doesn't need an interpreter.
I saw my uncle Bill Smith.
You do talk to Bill Smith.
Whenever there's a lot of women, he dances. He's just under 100.
He's 16 years older than you are.
How?
How?
Goodness cheese.
Thank you.
Shukwanach.
The beginning.
Achtlak.
My sister,
Rosita.
Rosita.
Ina chene achna de ki anaya kis.
You let me use your chilcat blanket.
Gunastish achat
Thank you, my father's sister,
Marlene
Arlene.
achnachi ach. Yana chen. Stakati wan
All of you,
gunastish yu aya yau tusika.
we say thank you to all of you.
Yaya ki
Today,
haina de hin chi at.
you came by canoes and rafts and jets.
Yaya ki
Today,
stakati wan
all of you,
hasis kos
our grandparents,
hastutus saku aya
they are happy today.
kachiti.
You will imitate their lifestyle.
Chakaki aya
We're just doing the edge.
kakwasanik aksis kos yukatanke.
I will tell a story in a Sindit language.
Chakoyo
Long time ago,
yesh katusnik akakas kedach
a story was told from my uncles.
klenach kayo
One man,
kutikat wu dein
you're watching the weather, like all Tlinkits do.
kachko atun aseyu tuwati.
And he wanted to go somewhere.
Wana nisak shea
And then
tuchishakuni ushkade atane
he put his little tools together.
kwas sakat kakwas chunet
His hunting equipment.
aya tu kes kas tu khand owa at
And then someone came to him. I'm not catching you very well here.
tu kes kas tu khand owa at.
I'm too far from you yet.
It would be best if you came over here.
Let's get together.
Aya has akewa wuz
And then they asked their uncle,
wasaya kianik
what are you doing anyhow?
ye ayu yawaka
And then he replied,
atsu naya dak kukhasit
I will go hunting in my little canoe.
tu si di ayu ayikte at kawa chak
And then he packed all his things in his little craft.
so tatawa testakat tu kes kian tu in adu kun
And then come morning, all his nephews joined him.
hastu ya kuyikta kune has yawaku asun hastu kak in
And then they all went on this hunting trip with their uncle.
stakat yaki aya ya has yana kwen
They were traveling all day long, paddle, paddle, paddle.
khana ayo
Evening,
atas yawaku yu asun ane
they finally arrived at the hunting grounds.
aya khana aya ataya khatu kes kian
And then that evening he told his nephews
ade haskoko atya
to where they will now hunt
khakuk seushta haskokta at
and where they will separate in the woods.
so tat at kutuda su ade ayo chades asyaw sikhayakh ushta khasuti at
And then they followed his orders as they went into the woods.
khana de ayo iqawa at
And they came down in the evening.
Tles iqukut hastukak
But without their uncle, he was missing.
chanaya has awa jakat akhes has asi
And then the game that they got that day, they started to cook that their uncle might eat.
has akawa shokayo hastukak
They were somewhat making a little fun of their uncle.
has akawa shok kutukut yo ayas ataya ka
They said, well, our uncle just wandered away in the woods.
Chan Tlen Katas Awa Akwechana Akaki Kakut.
They made a very, very large fire as a signal for their uncle to follow.
Wana Nisote Taide Awa Atio Tles Ikukut.
And then came time to go to bed, but their uncle was still not with them.
Utateo Yehasyawa Ka.
And in the morning they said,
Ustakach Tutaat Adeugudia Atkach Tus Ik Yu Atkutu.
we will now go into the woods in separate groups and make sounds hollering that he might hear us.
Stakat Yuyaki Ayo Akahas Koa Jes Hastukak.
All day long they searched anxiously.
Khana Ayo Ikas Adayo Kaskat Genachayo Hasatcha.
And when they came home to the camp, they ate very quietly, somewhat in a sad mood.
Nask Ayaki Ayadeyo Hasyawaka. Kokt Uwane.
And on the third day, they guessed, or they said, he must have had an accident.
Aka Ayo Ushik and Has Outsine Ada Has Cook Kochesia. Gos Kokt Uwane. Chawat Gutuk.
And they planned how they would search for this uncle, who probably had an accident.
So a cut Kukau Chikit Tles Has Awute.
And then darkness fell again without finding him.
We Khana Awaye Hasyawaka.
And that evening they said,
Keat Gachtuchun Utat Kuchta.
we will pack our things to return.
Aya Shakte Yanyawa Gus at Gutuk.
They guessed he probably fell in the woods.
Ya to see the Ayo was to the Kasawatan.
They found his belt.
Dot Khai at the Yagutai Kasakawa Chak.
And they put food under his canoe.
Achawe Kuchtet da Kasyawaku.
And then they returned in their canoe.
Has to Anit Hasyawagu Ayo Kaskat Genachayo Ayikdache has Atana.
And when they came to their destination home, they quietly unloaded the canoe in an attitude of sadness.
Utuwa Kit Ajayo has to Hane Ikawa at.
And they were suspected, so someone or more came to speak to them.
Akaya has Kaudoa Uz Wasaya Atune.
And they were asked, what has happened?
Akawa has a Kausinik as to Kak Kutuzikit at Kutuk.
And then they brought the sad news that their uncle was lost in the woods or wilderness.
Ye Ayo Hasyawaka.
And then they said,
Sayuk Akuchte Hayakwaku.
we will return as soon as possible.
Kuchte Yakachtucha Dunao.
We will bring his remains.
Chutek Wuche Ayo Takwas to Kau good.
And while they were still on this trip, winter fell.
Akayo Tak Kanachayo Tunik Kakae Ati to Anik.
And all that winter sadness fell over their land.
Wana Nisaya Tak Itiach Koane.
And then spring came.
At Utua Khonis Kau Itianach Kuyakuge Hastukaki Kahas Kukojes.
And then another expedition was formed to hunt for their uncle. Now this was young people, strong men, out to hunt, to search for the lost.
Wana Nisaya Kune hasya waku yu a.
And then they started on a journey to hunt for this lost person.
Su tlek ki aya. Adek hasya waku.
They were on their way one day.
Dech ya ki ayo hasko a jes yu a at kutu.
And 2 days they were hunting in the woods.
Tlek su has da se has awut e.
There was no clue, no finding.
Wana ni saya naskaya ki. Yu at kutu na chayo. Is kauk ikuwa at.
And then on the third day, a young folk came to the shore.
At kutunach ikas o at klastui nata.
And then these people came toward them.
Ye ayo has asyaw sikha.
And then they said to them,
I ka ki ka aya koi jes.
"You are hunting for your uncle?
Chuti sek.
He is still living. He still breathes.
Tu khande yi shigach tu at.
We will lead you to him.
Tles unase.
It's not far."
Chatech kosnask kuch ksane kana chaya yagach tu at.
We will go over 1, 2, or maybe 3 hills.
Tlagoa at kaudo a chak.
And then they were very excited to go on this short journey.
A ich kone has o at.
And then they followed these new people.
Dech aya ki a hasna ate aya.
After 2 days traveling, walking,
Adach ya wata.
they noticed something different.
Kachku. Sha tlenik asea a kachya has shundo at.
They were being led over very high mountains.
Huche aya ki aya. Kashukochya na gut a.
And in the last day, the one who was leading them
Yudu shukochya na gut yis ka ayo au sitin.
the young fella ahead them saw
Kuch slidit. Tu kina adi taida au sitin.
he saw the semblance of a wolf.
Ye aya tu ditan.
And then he thought,
Tlak shaya gut likat.
whatever happened here?
Tlak shaya gut likat.
Whatever happened here?
Chakujaya hatshunakut.
It's a wolf that's leading me.
Khana te ayo.
And toward evening,
Antas oa at.
they came to the place.
Tlawe ansati hitite hashudo wa at.
And they were led to the something like a mayor or leader of the area.
Just huje ayatin kuchhat city.
And then they only saw this was the wolf.
Anes has adayo has tukak at a.
When they came into this house, oh, here was their uncle, seated.
Ye ayo yawaka.
And he said,
Ye shuk city.
"I was expecting you people."
Keden has tukek at naitit la yu
And
yawaka.
then he said, "Give them some food."
Yan has at kha ayo.
When they were through,
Ye has asyaw sikha.
he told them,
Klin kotaya has khat wuslitin.
these took care of me.
Naskya ki kia akhan ye hasuti has tukak.
They stayed about 3 days with their uncle.
Wana niseu ye yawaka.
Then he said,
Ikte kachiat.
"You will go toward the beach,
Tesi in gukwakut.
but I will not join you."
Awa ye has yawaka.
And then they replied,
Wasak koti ikhun kekho.
"How will your relatives be?"
Ye ayu yawaka.
And then he replied,
Yaku o ayu akhone khasusiti.
"These people became my relatives, my friends."
Ajaya has tukak khayak. Iqte hasu art.
And so they obeyed their uncle and left.
You takas ashua ati kuch.
And the wolf who led them
Iqte has ashua art.
also led them to the beach.
You iqayo has ashsatin.
And he was watching them on the beach
Has adu khun kuchte dakas yawa gut.
as they got into their canoe and departed.
Has tu anikayo has akaw sinik.
They told the story in their village
Adiyo at kawati ya.
of all that happened on this journey.
Says ha khane kuchtek was tu ha kakyo.
Our uncle will not rejoin us in our village.
Hasu tish.
They were lonely, they missed him.
Wana nisak sheat.
And then
So kuchte has at kawana.
they decided to go back again,
Gostech yach kohait.
probably 2 days or so.
2 years.
Oh, 2 years, excuse me.
You coach koayo has to khonke.
The wolf people,
Iqas o art jayo.
they would come to the beach.
You are the darkest o city aya ades at ustinch.
He watched where the canoe would go.
One kanin xeo.
And then
Tlach ishan den ke a kuqacht.
and there would be a very sad sound of mourning.
One kanin xeo has ashanuch.
And then it would be like barking
Has sachtu acht aseo.
so that they could be heard.
Gostech yach koha itaya tsa.
I'll get this one right, but 2 years again, he says.
Ya kos au sitin.
They saw a boat
Has to khonde ya koya na kwen.
coming toward them.
Saku inayo kes kau zikach.
They expressed sounds of happiness.
Has to khonde ya koya na kwen.
Someone's coming to them.
Sakutin achot has so agok ik yan has yaku.
They ran to the shore with happiness to meet them.
Ye aya hayati ha khonke.
This is how we are, my relatives, my friends.
Gaidanak, stand up. Stand up.
Gaidanak, stand up.
Ye aya ha tuati ha
This
khonke.
is how we all feel, my relatives, my friends, our guests.
Tu usakuti naya yaagi akayan tu watan.
And we wished for happiness upon this occasion.
Tlakwase achtukatu titi stakati wan
I'm very happy. We're grateful to all of you
yaaki
today.
yati khine kunaschish.
You who are seated here, thank you very much.
And now we go outside for a photo.
Ak-